Gosens is the embodiment of self-belief and determination. Born with no vision, his remarkable list of sporting achievements include representing Australia at 3 Paralympic Games and more recently at the 2022 Commonwealth Games in para-triathlon. Add to that, scaling Mount Everest, ultra-marathon running and even reaching the semi-final of Dancing with the Stars. For the past year, Gerrard has been training for his most ambitious project yet, when in just under 2 weeks, he'll bid to become the first totally blind athlete to swim the English Channel. 34 gruelling kilometres, in a bid to raise $340,000 to provide scholarships to students in need, while also adding another chapter to one of Australia's most inspiring sports stories. And that amazing man joins us right now. Welcome, Gerrard.
Wow.
Lovely to have you on the show.
Thank you.
I'm just going to dig straight in. Most of us, I think, imagine that the approach to life of someone without sight would be cautious. Yours is anything but. Did you force yourself to be adventurous, or is it something that just did come naturally?
I think, obviously, for me, growing up in the bush, there was that sort of relentless, obviously, challenges, whether it be the environments or, I suppose, the remoteness of that. And that, I suppose, brought about and developed that determination to really make a difference out in the bush and break down their various perceptions and get by with what we really had. And for me, as a young athlete in primary school and high school, they were the best ways of, I think, breaking down those perceptions that people had about a person who was totally blind.
The most amazing things that you have done, and you've said, and I think I'm quoting you correctly, that you don't have to see it to conquer it.
No, look, I think for me, and as we look at right now, both the Olympic and Paralympic Games, I think for me as a Paralympic athlete and obviously Commonwealth Games, but I've never seen the Australian flag. I've never seen a green and gold tracksuit. And I don't need those things to have the belief and have the determination to represent my country. I think as many Australians, I think that's why Australia really bats above its weight in a sense of all sports and various, I think all sort of various vocations, is because we have that pure spirit and the culture of what it means to be an Australian and to do their country proud. And whilst when I swim the channel and I get to the other side, I'll never see the other side of the English Channel. I won't even see the beach. All I touch is a rock or a pebble. In actual fact, that's what they call the pebble of the medal. That's all it simply is. And for a person who's totally blind, I think for me as an Australian, it is truly an honour to represent your country at a Paralympic Games, or even to be the first totally blind person to swim the channel.
You've represented Australia at the Paralympic Games. You've attempted to conquer Mount Everest. You have run from Cairns to Brisbane, which is 2,000 kilometres, 5 times. What is that driving force? What is that motivation? Because for us, even just trying to achieve one of those things would be huge, but you just keep, adding things to your list and achieving them.
I have a very strong belief that success is a journey, never ever a destination, and it won't obviously stop after the English Channel. That journey will always go on. But along that journey, I think very much of that has been about teamwork, whether it be even going to school and whether it be primary school and high school, and that teamwork within the classroom of getting your fellow mates to help you out. What was on the blackboard or out there in the sporting arena, and my guide runners when I was running from Cairns to Brisbane, or even, for example, in Dancing with the Stars, it was about teamwork. I had Jess, my dance partner, but behind the scenes you had that support as well. And whilst many of those adventures have been quite challenging, you look at something as simple as Dancing with the Stars. That was, in actual fact, perhaps one of the hardest, because when they say to you, "Hey, listen, we want you're doing the tango. We want a really passionate look." Well, what's a passionate look? We're doing the rumba. We want a really sexy look. We want a really sexy look. So there's no real understanding. For me, I've never seen those expressions. So at times it is the smallest of differences. Like my most valuable piece of equipment on Everest cost me $5. and that $5 was spent on a yak bell, and that yak bell was tied to one of my fellow climbers' backpacks, it saved their voice. It saved my voice. It was consistent, reliable communication. And that's what you, as a team, provide, consistent, reliable communication.
Well, tell us about your team, Gerrard, because you've used that word many, many times there. You've been training at Yeronga swimming pool, and I know there's a big group of people that'll be right there with you. How much are they sort of driving you in this swim as well?
Oh, look, I came back from the Commonwealth Games in 2022, and I thought I had retired. I retired for 5 hours, and someone told me there'd never been a totally blind person swim the English Channel. So for the last 2 years, I've built my team. I have a team of 6 swim guides, and that's 4 girls, 2 guys. I have a team manager, and we're also making a documentary on this particular journey called Changing Channels, which more or less sort of focuses on the actual team. One of the biggest things they can is about this honour of actually swimming the English Channel is we picked up the Australian flag from Paralympics Australia on Thursday. We're taking the Australian flag across to the UK. We're swimming the Australian flag across the English Channel. We're then taking it to the athletes at the Paralympic Village to present it to the Australian team.
One of whom is your daughter, Taylor, of course, who's going to be competing in the judo there. Is the plan to, obviously, to present that flag and then maybe stick around and see her do her thing?
As long as you keep moving, it's okay.
Yeah, look, that would be an absolute, fingers crossed that does come off. I think in the history, and I think this is where, again, it's fantastic to be an Australian, because in the history, the entire history of the Paralympic movement, there's never been a father and daughter represent their country at a Paralympic game. So there's another first for Australia. So we're really ticking a lot of boxes, but I think for my team to take that, to swim the Australian flag across the channel, to know it's going to the Paralympic Village for the Australian team is a huge honour.
I'm trying to work out, Gerrard, why you put yourself through so much pain when you get the satisfaction of tasting chocolate every day. You're a chocolatier. Now, the question I need to ask, is your sense of taste heightened because you've lost your sight? Is that why you are a chocolatier?
Look, I think I actually developed an awareness of taste of actually representing Australia through sport, because I travel around the world competing in Australia, World Championships, Paralympic Games, what have you, and it was very difficult for me to know if I was going to bring back a gift to thank a person back in Australia or part of my team. It's very hard to pick up a T-shirt and go, oh, that's going to really work for that person, or the memento. Chocolate was always an easy go-to thing. Yeah. And it's a great way to get through customs. You declare chocolate and then I developed an awareness and taste of chocolate. But I think for me, I learned this actually many, many years ago when a person actually handed me the ice. Said, oh, have a taste of this isopole. And they gave me the isopole, and I said, well, it tastes like nothing. And to them, it was a raspberry isopole. Because they had the colouring in it. And their mind was actually telling them it was a raspberry isopole. But for me, there was nothing at all. It was just their mind was actually telling them what they should be tasting. Yeah. And as a chocolatier, sure, I have an awareness. I'm not actually, I suppose, fooled by the vision of what you're actually looking at. And I use, local ingredients, ginger from Budrum, and my liqueurs are from Stanthorpe in Queensland, and everything's local. And I'm always playing around with flavours. It's very similar to I suppose cricket, for example. There's no ingredients or there's no recipe as such in my chocolate. For example, one day mandarins may be stronger because of the beginning of the season. It's the same with a cricket pitch. It could be drier at the end of a match, so that's when spin comes into it. So there's no one set recipe. It always changes as you go through. And that's one thing about my life is that change is constant, growth is optional.
Well, you're doing an amazing job. We can't wait to see taking what you do next. All the best, and also you should say that I've never seen a sexy look either. So,
Tony's never been asked to go on dance.
Remember, there is the GoFundMe page that you've set up for.
I think they actually said that you weren't sexy.
Yeah, so you can tell that he's
Gerrard and I have something in common. I also think icy poles are rubbish. They're garbage. He's right. They taste like nothing.
We'll get the detail for the GoFundMe page for Great Dreams. Congratulations on all that you've done and all that you will do. So great to speak to you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
What a man.
What a man. Absolutely amazing. Coming up, our champ of the week, if it's not already here. Stick around.